Now, I'm sure that all of you guys know who Iman Gadzhi is. He's blowing up in the last few years, and he's been on the YouTube space now for a very long time. So in today's video, I'm going to be attempting to do Shopify dropshipping following just the Digital Launchpad course by Iman Gadzhi featuring Jordan Welsh.
You've had an education business for a long time, but what makes this one different?
The educators, it's fucking exciting.
Now for this video challenge, I'm going to be giving myself a $1,000 budget to see how much money I can make with the Shopify dropshipping business model. Now throughout this challenge, I'm going to have to watch all the modules and I will not deviate from any of them. I will literally do exactly what I'm instructed to do per module. Now I'm going to be doing a huge giveaway in today's video challenge, which is going to be me giving away the store that I make, all the ads that I create, and the ad account that I use to launch this challenge. So all you have to do to enter the giveaway is like the video and leave a comment on what you thought of the Iman Gadzhi's Digital Launchpad course featuring Jordan Welsh and your honest views and opinions. So before I get into day one's agenda and what I've got planned for the rest of the day, I want to quickly go over a disclaimer, which is everything that I'm doing in this video is purposely for entertainment purposes and for education. None of what I'm saying is endorsing anyone or promoting anything. This is just purely from my own opinion. So guys, after around about an hour and a half, I've done my product research and I have found two products I'm going to be using for the challenge. Now before I show you the product research method, I'm actually going to go into the product criteria that Jordan Welsh explained in the modules. Does it solve a high value problem? Is it a trending product? Is it currently going viral right now? The product needs room of improvement, either low quality video ads by competitors, or is it got a bad website from the competitor that we can capitalize on if we come in and fix those problems? Now the fourth criteria was a strong profit margin, which means either $40 to $100 per unit. Now with the product criteria out of the way, these were the two methods that we were given to find the products using the criteria. Now one was a free method and one was a paid method. So the free method was scroll through Facebook and engage with ads by commenting, liking them, sharing them, and then that way it will show you more dropshipping videos that are showing products. Now this method is very old, very ancient, so I was a little bit disappointed that this was one of the options because this was out back in 2018, and I must admit from then it's slightly dying out. Now the paid method that I used was by using a ad spy tool called Mina. So Mina is a product research method that we got told to use. So as you guys can see on the computer screen, I'm on the Mina product research tool that Jordan spoke about. He said to go to the ad section here in the top left. Now Mina is a paid platform, guys, so do bear that in mind. He then said go to the Facebook section and then start applying filters. So the filters that he told us about was Shopify, filter it by countries, which is the US and the top European ones, which is like the UK, Germany. Then he also said filter it by video, shop now. That way you're going to be seeing e-commerce product related ads. Now once you filter it by all of those, you can then slowly scroll through these and look for the ones with really good like counts. And then once you look for the ones with really good like counts, you want to watch the video and see if it is a drop shipping product. Now he said that we can use those same filters on the TikTok method as well. So if I click TikTok here, you're going to see that it brings over to the TikTok platform. So we can either use those filters on either Facebook or for TikTok. So now I've gone over the product research method. I actually want to show you the two products that I've picked for the challenge using the paid method. So you're going to see if I scroll down on the TikTok section here on the left, this is the first product that I've picked from Mina, which is a money piggy bank box or vault. Now, if we go to AliExpress, this is the product right here. It's got 2,000 orders right now, which is very good, meaning that it's starting to get some good demand, and it's got some great product reviews on Amazon as well. So it matches the criteria that Jordan mentioned. Now you're going to see that I also found some ads on Facebook using the ad library, and you can see there's 3 ads being ran for them. And their offer is pretty bad, and I feel like the videos could be better. And this is something that Jordan mentioned. Try and make your competitors' stuff better if it's already working. Now, I also found their website, and their website is definitely the strongest point when it comes to this competitor. And you can see there's some great things that I could use from here for my own website and inspire from and make better. Now, I'm going to be buying this for around about $20 and selling it for around about $49.99 as on my website. Now, the second product that I've chosen is this summer UV jacket for men and women. And because we are literally going into summer right now, I feel like this is a great product, and I also found it on the Mina Facebook platform as a weekly winner. Now, I've just watched a few episodes that took me around about an hour on basically the main principle on what store to pick and how to build it. So now I know which type of store I should be making. I'm now going to play a time lapse of me building it, and once I've built it, guys, I'll get back to you with the final result and explain what I was taught and why it looks that way. So as you guys can see on the phone screen, here's the store. It's called kidsworld.co. .com was unavailable. Now, as you guys can see, I've gone for the kids niche, and the colors I've chosen was a 3-star color palette, which is white, black, and a color of your branding, which Jordan recommended. He also got me to make the logo using Canva, and I'm not gonna lie, the logo is pretty good, and the logo module wasn't bad at all, and I was quite impressed actually with the outcome of the logo. Now, the actual theme being used in this store is the Refresh theme, which is a Shopify 2.0 theme that was made a few years ago. Now, in my opinion, I don't think it's the best theme, especially as a free theme. I do think there's way better free themes out there that could have been used. Now, bearing in mind, guys, this is the homepage, and you can see the banner says free shipping plus 50% off on all orders. As Jordan suggested, that was a great option. Now, you can see here it says unlock your child's potential, and there's a few products here on the homepage, and then it goes over our mission, and that is it for the home page. Now, if we progress into the product page, this is where things get interesting. You can see Jordan talks about making these really nice branded images showing the product, your color scheme, and your logo on each image. He instructs which type of images we should use, like feature, product use, how to use images, and that way it looks nice and branded. So I was quite impressed with Jordan talking about making images like this, as they are super important for branding. Now, you can see here I've called it a cash vault method. Then I've gone over some trust information, help your child with financial decisions, infinite fun and success moments, 50% off, and I've also incorporated a 50% offer on my website. I've also gone over a bundle here, which is free vault bundle, free pen plus free ebook. Then I've got into the sections here going over information with Giphies. Then it says how to work. Then I've also used here some more Giphies, more images. You can see here at the bottom a little bit more information. Now, there's no video on my website. There's no drop down menus over specifications, other information. There's no big bundle offers visually on the screen. I definitely think the website could have looked a lot better than this. Now, this isn't terrible. I want to make this very clear. I'd say this is just over average, but I definitely think it could have been made way better in the course. Don't get me wrong, I do believe that this is enough to get you off the ground, but if the store added a few more sections, I think it could have been a lot better. Now, let me know what you guys think of this store out of 1 to 10, 10 being the best, 1 being the worst. What would you rate it in the comment section below? Now, with that being said, guys, back to learning some more modules by Jordan Welsh, and we're now going to be going over how to create video ads for our products. So going back to my good old computer again and watching the module so I can learn how to make some video creatives.
3 hours later.
This is probably my most disappointing module by far. Not really much was shown or taught on how to do it. Now, the first method on creating videos, Jordan teaches us to use a software called Premiere Pro. As a beginner, using Premiere Pro is not easy, and it's very time consuming to learn how to use it. But even throughout the Premiere Pro teachings, he also showed us how to download videos, cut them up, so you're covering up the old text, you're adding your logo, you're adding a watermark. Now, this is very typical 2017-18 dropshipping style, so in my opinion, it's a little bit outdated, and it could have been a lot better illustrated in the module. Now, he also went over a second suggestion, and that was for a company called Bands Off Ads. Now, I will be using this strategy as well, just to make the challenge as fair as possible. So guys, after around about 45 minutes, I've made 3 video ads for my product, a TikTok one and a Facebook one, and then just another one as I was instructed by Jordan in the modules. Now, once I've received the Bands Off creatives, I'll also show you guys those later on. Now, obviously, by using the Bands Off ads, it's going to cost me money to get them. It's going to cost me around about $100 to get enough creatives for this to make any sense. And that's why I'm a little bit upset with the module, because people are going to want to rather make them themselves to save money, and the info that he gave you in the module wasn't that good to learn how to do them yourself, and that's why I wasn't a fan of it in the module. So Jordan taught us to make a campaign, one campaign, and call it the product name. So if we open up this campaign, you can see when I open up the campaign, he instructed me not to do anything with Advantage Plus or any campaign budget optimization. I was instructed to make 5 ad sets. The first ad set would be at $10, in my case £10. Start the following day at midnight. And then if we keep scrolling down, I was instructed to use these countries here: Australia, Canada, United Kingdom, New Zealand, and United States, which is what we call the top 5. Age 21 to 65, all genders. And then when it comes to interest targeting, now we're in a position where interest targeting can actually be done by Facebook themselves. Now, Jordan told us to turn that option off and to do it manually. Now, manual interest targeting isn't a bad idea. Now, where I think Jordan could have done better here is where he could have instructed us throughout different ad sets. You can see here, one ad set, one ad set, one ad set. So we've got 5 in total. Let's say this one is using interest targeting. Let's say this one uses AI Facebook targeting where they do it for you. Let's say this one is AI Facebook with our manual input, because there's 3 options now you can do with Facebook. You can do it on your own, which is what Jordan told us to do. You can do it fully with AI with Facebook, or you can do half-half. He instructed just to do it manually. I think in this phase we should have tested all of the options, but we got told to just manually do it. In my opinion, like I said, I think that would have been better to test all 3 options in each ad set. Then all languages is here as the English speaking languages, and placements is advantage placements. And you can see the pixel here with purchase as the conversion event. Now, Jordan instructed us to make 2 ads per ad set, so ad 1 and ad 2. Now in ad 2, you can see I've selected the Facebook page, manual upload, single image or video. I've uploaded the first video, and then you can see here primary text. So this is the primary text that I've used. I'm not going to read it out loud. I'll let you guys read it. Now, how I came up with this primary text is I actually went to ChatGPT. So you can see here on ChatGPT, I actually got my competitor's ad copy from the ad library, and I just said, can you make this better? And you can see here the ChatGPT gave me a better version of this, and then I also added at the bottom my call to action. Now, I also gave ChatGPT the headline of my competitor's ad and told it to make me 10 variants. You can see here variant 1, variant 2, variant 3, variant 4, and variant number 5. Now, I also got ChatGPT to make me 5 variants of the ad copy, and you can see 1, 2, 3, and 4, and 5. I also got ChatGPT to make 10 variants of the headline from the competitor. So this is literally the competitor's headline. ChatGPT made 10 new ones that are just as good or better, so I've also been using those. So if you scroll down, you can see where it says headline, begin your child's 10,000 savings quest. That's from the ChatGPT that Jordan recommend doing. Now the call to action is shop now, and if I scroll down, I'm going to be using my website URL from the product page for the product that I'm trying to sell. Now, if we scroll down to the tracking section, this is where I will openly critique Jordan for this. He did not actually recommend doing any UTMs for Facebook. So you can see here, URL parameters, UTMs. This is where I'm very disappointed with Jordan and the Launchpad course, because when you spend money on ads, you want to track where it's coming from. Now, we all know, and Jordan definitely knows this because he's been in the game long enough, that tracking on Facebook is terrible, and you need some form of tracking, whether it be offline or online. And he has not once told us to do UTMs, and UTMs are completely free to do, and they do work pretty well. And Jordan didn't go over any tracking from what I saw. If I'm wrong, I apologize, but from what I saw, I didn't see anything to do with tracking, so I'm very disappointed. Now, as Iman Gadzhi comes from a social media marketing background, he should understand KPIs. He should understand tracking and delivery information to their clients, like what did you do, what did you spend your money on, did this work? So they should have both realized that this was a key element that should have never got missed when it came to ads. Now, I'm not going to go into every single one of these guys, but the only thing that we changed in each ad set was just the interest. So you can see the interest name here, 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 and here. And again, we use the same 2 ads from the first ad set. And again, the only difference between ad 1 and 2 is just the video. Now, for the TikTok ads, it wasn't mandatory to do it, but I wanted to give this challenge a fair enough option. So that's why I'm doing TikTok and Facebook, to give this challenge a fair chance. So you can see here in TikTok, I've created one campaign, again, called it by what the product is, Kids Money Box. Now, in the campaign structure, I've selected website conversions, the campaign name, and I've done no set budget optimization or CBO. Everything is box standard. Now, if we go into the ad group section, you can see here we have 5 ad groups, which is like 5 ad sets in Facebook. Now, the only difference for each ad set before I go into the info is the interest and audience again. So these are interests or audiences, and we left one broad. So Jordan said to leave one of them completely broad with no audience targeting. Now, if I actually break one of them down, you can see we selected a pixel and optimization event as complete payment. We are only going to target TikTok as a placement, and we are only going to make sure that users can comment and share and not download the video. Our location was United States and Canada. Gender was all, age groups 18 to 55. English as the language, all spending powers, and you can see here where we're starting to do our interest and behaviors. And then the budget and schedule was $20 per ad group, and to get them to start midnight the following day. Now, in terms of the actual ads, this time Jordan got us to do 3 instead of 2. So you can see ad video 1, ad video 2, and ad video 3. So if I break this apart, you can see we set a custom ID. which is Kids World with my logo, single video. Now you can see the text here. Now Jordan told us to write some text that would keep people curious. So for example, my child didn't know about this. That way people are going to think, oh, what are they on about? So they're going to watch the video. So I quite like this technique. It's a very good technique that Jordan mentioned. And then Jordan said to do a call to action as standard shop now, which I agree with. URL, which is the product page. And then again, with the tracking, it was not mentioned to set up UTMs. And I've already spoken about how I'm disappointed about that. So I'm not going to go over it again. Now, the only difference for each ad, and that's why I'm not going to keep going into each one of them, was just the actual headline. So what was said in the short word. That was the only difference. Now, we had the option to change the thumbnail for each one, which I did, but no videos were changed. It was still the same video, but just 3 variants of it. So guys, that brings us to the end of day 1. Now, if you're wondering what I actually think of Digital Launchpad so far, again, I want to emphasize the course looks amazing. It's beautifully polished. They also provide you with PDFs and cheat sheets to help you along the way, which is great. And again, even when I went through the rest of the modules, I still think a lot of these episodes could be condensed into only 3 or 4 instead of 8 to 10. I think that's just a little bit too much. Now, it doesn't really matter what I think, guys. It's all about the results. So let's see what happens in the next few days.
1 day later.
So it's day 3 of the challenge, guys, and I've got some good news. We have currently got our first 2 sales on the store. So if we head into my laptop, you guys can see from the 14th to the 15th, we've achieved $69.80. That equals 2 sales. As you guys can see there, we've had 17 add to carts and only 2 people checked out. Now, if you guys remember, we launched ads on TikTok and on Facebook. So where did these sales come from? Now, remember, I critiqued Jordan and Iman yesterday because they didn't talk about setting up UTMs or any form of tracking. Now, if we scroll down on the Shopify dashboard, you're going to see something called sales by social source. Now, this typically shows you where the sales come from, but it's only tracked 1 sale automatically. And when we go into this report, you can see it's tracked it from the TikTok platform. Now, if we head into the TikTok ads manager, you can see we've currently spent $130 on this campaign. Now, since updating you guys after I launched the campaigns, I set up the columns just as Jordan instructed in the module about decoding your ads. Now, Jordan mentioned that your CPCs need to be below $1.50 and the best optimal price is between 75 and 50 cents. So you can see here, currently on this campaign, it's at around about 63 cents. Now, Jordan said the CTR needs to be around about 2%. We're currently sitting at 1.2%, which is under the standard that Jordan spoke about. So if we dive into the ad group section, you can see the ones that we launched yesterday. I've currently turned 3 of them off. And the reason why I turned 3 of them off is because technically I'm now progressing to the scaling stage that Jordan mentioned in the module. Now, before I move into what I've done with the ads, I do want to bring this up quickly, which is me being disappointed with the decoding of ads module and the scaling module inside of the Educate or Digital Launchpad course. There was no real clear instruction on how to really kill your product or scale it, and there was no live examples. Jordan was just literally talking into the camera without showing us a live account, showing us results that we can then also look at. Now, I believe as a dropshipper, as a beginner, that you should be setting aside between $300 to $500 per product. And I would lay it out like this. Day 1, you should see this. Day 2, you should see this. Day 3, you should see this. And then you progress. There was nothing like that in the module. Now, Jordan kept talking about your hook could be an issue with your ads, but there's no way of tracking your hook. Now, there is actually a way to track your hook. It's called the hook rate, and you can create a custom preset column to do that. 40% being industry standard, and above that is better. So as you guys can see, I turned 3 ad groups off because they did really, really bad based on CPC, CTR and stuff. You can see that these 2 actually got a sale. So if we scroll across here, you can see 1 purchase, 1 purchase. Now, technically, there's no guarantees that these 2 ad groups are the ones that actually got the sale. It could have actually been one of these or one of these. And that's why I said that UTMs are mandatory as a beginner, because let's say one of these are correct, but the other isn't, I could be scaling the wrong ad group. Now, what Jordan said when it came to actually changing ad groups around is always trying new audiences, which I definitely agree with. Now, what I've done is I've tried new audiences that are similar to the ones that are working. Now, these ones here, which is 1, 2, and 3, these are me manually searching for them in the TikTok platform. Now, these ones down here are actually ones that TikTok suggests for me. So what I decided to do is actually go for ones that TikTok suggested again, which is games, education, and household products. So those those are all the changes that I made to my TikTok ads since 2 days ago. Now, if we look at my CTR, because Jordan kept emphasizing CTR, I've only got one above 2%, which is ad one. Now, before I even move on to the Facebook ad section, guys, I want to talk about this KPI calculator that you get in the course. You can see it here. It says fill in the variables below, advanced variables, and even KPI, no profit or no loss. Now, if I'm going to be honest with you guys, this KPI calculator is great, but not as a beginner. I think as a beginner, this is way too advanced. For this calculator to even make any sense, in my opinion, you would need to be doing around about $10,000 a month for it to become any form of use. So I personally believe that this is great, but not as a beginner. Now, in my opinion, what I thought would have been more useful is something like this, which is called a ROAS calculator. So you add your cost of goods here. Now, my cost of goods is 3.69, and then my selling price is 29.90. So what I actually want to know is what my break-even ROAS is, which is 1.1. So that means that anything over 1.1, I'm making money. Anything below it, I'm actually losing money. And it also shows me my cost multiplier and my profit margin. So something like this as a beginner, in my opinion, is more than enough. Now, if we head over to Facebook ads, you're already gonna know that I've got no sales. If all of them came from TikTok, I've only got 2, so none of them would have come from Facebook. So if we even debunk Facebook, you can see here, Kids Money Box, we've spent £84 so far on this campaign. But we're not profitable yet, and I don't expect to be profitable just yet. My honest opinion, though, based on the actual course itself, is it's not clear enough, in my opinion, as a beginner, to actually follow a step-by-step guide. So my feedback to Iman or Jordan, if you're watching this, is I would say you should restructure the module campaign for Facebook and TikTok to actually give a day-by-day strategy to, let's say, 5 days, and how much should a beginner spend till they kill the product. So with that being said, though, guys, I will catch up with you in a few days once we've got more results and more data, and I've launched those bands off ad creatives to see if they perform better. Now, I'm also going to be launching a second product as well, just so I make this challenge as fair as possible. So welcome back to the challenge, guys. It's day 7. I haven't updated you in around about 4 to 5 days because I just thought I'd let the ads run and then update you after a decent amount of time so you can get a good look at how the results have been since then. Now, I've also watched the rest of the course, which is the Winning Store by Jordan Welsh, which is by Iman Gadzhi, of course. So I've completely finished the course now, so I can update you on what I've learned as well from the rest of the modules that I've just watched. Now, if we take a look at my laptop screen, you can see I'm in the Shopify dashboard, and you can see from the start of the challenge on the 13th to the 20th, I've done around about $319 in revenue, and you can see that we've received 9 orders in total. Now, since I last updated you guys, you can see just by looking at this chart, the sales have slowed down a lot compared to the first few days. Now, I'm going to jump into the ads manager first and then update you guys on what I learned from the course since I last updated you. Now, the first thing that I want to show you is the Facebook ads manager, and you can see the campaign is now turned off, and we've spent around about $130. Now, the reason why this is turned off is because Facebook just didn't seem to work well for my product, or the creatives weren't good enough. But if you look at all the metrics Jordan told me to look for, none of them are doing well. So I thought, instead of wasting money on Facebook, TikTok seems to be working, so I'll move that money across to TikTok instead. Now, there is actually a lot to update you when it comes to TikTok ads. Now, we received our creatives back from Bands Off Ads. Now, that took a few days, unfortunately, but I will play them on the screen before I show you the ads, so you can see the difference between the ones we made compared to the ones that Bands Off Ads made.
Imagine giving your child the gift of $10,000, but not just as a handout. I'll show you how I did it, and it was easier than you think. In today's economy, I wanted to give my son a gift that would really make a difference.
Inspire your little one to develop smart money habits for life with the Cash Vault. Teaches kids the value of saving and setting financial goals. Provides a fun and interactive...
Now, you've just seen the creatives side by side. Now, you can let me know in the comment section below which ones you thought were better, Bands Off Ads or the ones that we made. Now, as you guys can see in my TikTok ads manager, there's now 3 campaigns instead of 1 campaign that I made when I last updated you. Now, if we just simply look at the names, this is where things get interesting. So you can see this one's called Kids Money Box Bands Off Ad Creatives. This is the campaign that I made just to test the creatives from Bands Off Ads. And you can see that that campaign's turned off because guess what? It did not perform well. Now, the campaign at the top, I want you to pay attention to because this is the original campaign that we launched. Now, if I open this up, a few changes that I made in the ad groups was all the interest targeting did not work for me. So like when I tried to use interests or audiences, it didn't work. What worked for me was completely broad. So you can see I actually duplicated the broad ad group 4 times until having 5 of them, because Jordan said in the course to scale horizontally by copying what works. Now the broad just seemed to only work, so I scaled that horizontally, and after a few days it completely fizzled out. Now Jordan did also say in the course that if your ads are slowing down, it could be because of the creatives. So the good news is when things started to slow down, we received the bans off creatives. So I made a new campaign, you can see it here, Kids Money Box bans off creatives. I literally did the exact same thing, which was make 3 ad groups that were completely broad, but this time I actually increased it by $10 because Jordan said you can scale vertically by increasing the budget by a certain amount of percent. So I thought because they were working before, increase the budget to see if it works if I scale vertically instead of horizontally, because typically I'm meant to launch 5 ad groups, but this time I launched 3 but increased the budget. And the only difference I made was, guess what? The creatives. Now if I show you the creatives, guys, check this out. The bans off ads creatives weren't even getting me a 1% CTR. They were 0.9, 0.8. They were not doing good at all. Now if I compare them to the ones that we made, you can see here the original campaign. I'm going to move it to ads. I'm going to scroll over to CTR. You can see the CTR that we got with our own creatives were 3%, 2%, 2.5%. So that shows you that the ones that we made were actually better. Now let me explain what this last campaign you can see is. It's called Kids Money Box CBO. Now this is a strategy on scaling vertically. Now instead of you getting the ad group to spend the money, you let the campaign spend the money based on what's working well. Now Jordan did mention this a little bit. He didn't quite go over it in depth. He just mentioned it as a feature that you can take advantage of. So I thought I'd take advantage of it. Now unfortunately, as you guys can see, since I've launched this campaign, we've spent $114 and we've only received 1 sale. Now if you just compare the data that I just showed you from the TikTok Ads Manager, from the Shopify dashboard that I started this day update with, you would have seen that the store is slowing down dramatically. Now I've tried loads of things that they were mentioning in the course, like scaling vertically, horizontally, changing the creative. Now the thing that I believe is the problem is the offer. Now Jordan did not mention this in the course. He mentioned to have an offer on your website, which I totally agree with, but he did not tell me to then move that into the creative. And I feel like that is the weakness. If you can't get somebody to your page, they're not going to see the offer. So if you show them the offer in the creative, in my opinion, I think that would solve the problem here. So basically I'd have to redo the ad copy and mention the offer and mention the offer in the video. I do believe that that is the weakness with this creative. Now, just by going back over the Shopify analytics, you can see my conversion rate is not even at 1%. Now, the industry standard is around about 2 to 2.5%. So I do believe that the website landing page is also an issue. But like I said to you guys in the intro, I'm going to follow this course as instructed and not change anything. Now, talking about the course, let me explain what other episodes and modules that I learned since I last updated you. So those 2 modules, and these were the final 2 in the course, The Winning Store, and that was running your business and the end game. So the running your business was one that was quite important. It was about the apps that you need on Shopify, like a profit tracking app. And if you look at my screen, I downloaded Beprofit, and that's the one they recommend, and that's the one that I used and have been using for years, so I do recommend it. They also talk about using email marketing and text message marketing, and they also go over just email marketing in general. So that part of the module was just explaining about how to track your profits, how to do retargeting through SMS and email marketing. I'll actually put a preview on the screen of what that looks like in the app once we set it up. Now, if I'm going to be completely honest with you guys, it was very basic and simple. They were just simple abandoned cart recoveries, welcome series, and that was it. Now, that's definitely going to help with customer winbacks and retention, so it was definitely needed. Now, the final module that I watched was the end game, which obviously is in the name. It's the last module, it's the last video, and this is where Jordan talks about turning your dropshipping store into an e-commerce brand so that you can sell it later down the line, which I definitely agree with. You want to be converting these dropshipping stores into legitimate brands by white labeling, improving the quality of the product, and then selling it at the end. Now, the only issue that I have with this is from the modules prior to the endgame module, there's not enough in-depth information to actually get you to the point where you need to convert it to a e-com brand. To convert your store to an e-com brand, you need to be doing at least least 50 to 100K a month. And I don't believe that the information in this course is going to get you there. Now, I think it can definitely get you to, let's say, your first $1,000 a month or your first $5,000 a month, but I do not think it can get you to big numbers. I've expressed my opinion why I think that, and it's because of the lack of information and the guided information. It's very guideless in terms of Jordan's just telling you what to do and not really showing you in the actual screen how to navigate and how to navigate your business on a daily basis. So for example, what should your dropshipping store look like in the first week, 2 week, 3 week, 4 week, and actually show you a live demonstration. Now, I don't want to go too much into this conclusion type of info because I want to leave that till the end of the video. Now, there's only 5 days left of this challenge, so I'm probably going to give you one more update and then my conclusion of what I think of the Digital Launchpad featuring the winning store by Jordan Welch and Iman Gadzhi. So you guys let me know what you think so far from the information I've provided, or let me know what I've missed out. But with that said, guys, I'll catch you in a few days with the final update and my conclusion. So guys, welcome back to the last day of the Digital Launchpad / Educate course by Iman Gadzhi and Jordan Welch, because I'm taking the winning store module. Now, in this last update, I'm going to be telling you how much we made from the store. I'm also going to give you my conclusion on what I think of the course. Should you buy it for $39 or should you avoid it? And I'm going to be rating the course out of 10, 10 being the best, 1 being the worst. Now, again, this is all my opinions, guys, from being in the industry for the last 7.5 years, and I'm not here to bash anyone. This is just going to be my own genuine opinion. Now, I actually want to say this on a side note. Me and Jordan Welch started dropshipping at a very similar time. I've seen him grow, and he's also seen me grow. We've had some great conversations on Instagram as well, so I just wanted to make that a side note. Now, don't forget to enter the giveaway, guys, because you could win this whole store and everything that comes with it, which is worth over $2,500. So remember, all you got to do is like the video, leave a comment why you want to start drop shipping, and also make sure that we hit 5,000 likes, and then the winner will be mentioned on the Instagram story and in the pinned comment. So as you guys can see, I'm in the Shopify dashboard, and you can see we started the challenge on the 12th, but I've set it from the 13th because that's when we started running ads. And you can see from the 13th to the 24th, which is today, we've achieved almost $360. Now that is around about a 0.7 conversion rate with 11 orders coming from that one product. Now this is what I really want to show you, because this is the Beprofit manager. So this will show us everything in numbers. So like how much we spent, what's our net margin. This is a great app that all of you should take advantage of, and it's the one that Jordan mentioned to use in the module. So let's get the drum rolls rolling, because you can see here it says overview. So the total sales again is 358. The actual marketing expenses, which is Facebook and TikTok, was roughly around about $1,120. Cost of goods was $148. So that brings us to a net profit of negative $926. And you can see here the ad spend in each platform. So we spent $969 on TikTok and $145 on Facebook. So now you guys know all the numbers. Let me give you my conclusion on what I thought, because based on looking at this store, you're probably going to think it was a fail because we lost money. But the truth is, regardless of whose course you watched or how you did drop shipping, you're very much likely to fail on at least your first 5 to 10 products till you find one that actually does some decent numbers. So it doesn't really matter what information we learn online, you're not going to get a guaranteed winning store straight away. So I do want to make that very, very clear, and it had nothing to do with the actual course itself. You could literally take the best education in the world from drop shipping and still fail at least 5 to 10 times, in my humble opinion. But let's really talk about what I actually thought of the course. Now, let's say, for example, you're a complete beginner, you roughly know what dropshipping is, and you want to get started with it. The course can actually help you start your first dropshipping store. Now, I don't believe the course can take you to your first $10,000 or even your first $100,000, but I do think it can help you get your first sale or even get you to your first $1,000. So if you're actually watching this and you're a beginner, it's not a bad idea. So let's talk about the pros and cons. So the cons itself is, I personally didn't like the flexing in between the modules. I thought that was a little bit pointless. I think out of like 12 episodes per module, it could be cut into 5 based on what value was actually given. I also didn't like the fact that Jordan didn't really go into good depths when it came to the ads. He didn't really show you a screen showing you updates of how to test products over a few days. It was literally just him talking into a camera and not really giving you some real clear guidance. And also, I can't forget not mentioning how to do UTMs or tracking. In my opinion, that was very, very bad. Now, some of the pros are you are actually learning from somebody that has done dropshipping before and they've sold a store and they've done 7 figures before. But the only downside is I don't believe Jordan is still doing dropshipping today. I could be wrong, but from what I've seen and heard, I don't think he is. And in my opinion, I think it really does show in this course that he's not done it for a while, because there's some strategies that I believe are a little bit outdated in my humble opinion. Now, some other pros is of course, it's a very cheap course. $39 is very cheap, so it's very obtainable if you want to buy it. Now, if I was to rate the course, 10 being the very, very best, I would probably give it a 7 out of 10. Now, if Iman or Jordan is watching this, I hope you take my feedback on board and improve the course. And I really hope that you don't take this as a personal hit and you actually take it as some positive feedback. And if you guys are watching this, I'd love to discuss dropshipping with you guys for sure. Now, let me know in the comment section below what you guys thought of the course from what I shared in this video, and what would you rate it out of 10. Now, my final thoughts really is you could basically learn more than what's in the course for completely free on YouTube, if I'm going to be 100% honest. And I think if Jordan was to be honest with you as well, he would also say that you can learn a lot more just from watching free YouTube videos. Now, of course, the only issue with that is it's a lot of information that you have to learn from lots of different places, while this is consolidated in one place. So which course did I think was better as a beginner? The Hustlers University from Andrew Tate or the Iman Gadzhi / Jordan Welsh winning store? In my opinion, I think the Hustlers University slightly took the edge because they were being a little bit more hands-on with the day-to-day basis when it comes to running ads. They were a lot more in-depth on those sections. Now, I don't know the tutors myself, so I don't know if they have the same credentials as Jordan, so I'm not going to dive into that. But when it comes to actually watching the course and seeing how to assess your ads, I did think Hustlers University took the edge slightly. Now, who knows, in a year's time, these guys might take my feedback on board and completely change the course and make it really legendary. Who knows? We'll see in the future. But if you guys enjoyed this video, make sure you smash that like button. And whose course would you like me to review next? Let me know in the comment section below. I'd love to hear your feedback.